Hi friends, welcome to another edition of First Chapter Friday. I hope you liked the last book I read, which was A Place at the Table. This Friday we'll be reading Greystone Secrets, The Strangers by Margaret Peterson Haddix. It's the first book in a series of 3, if you like series, which you know I do. And it's about 3 siblings, Chess, Emma, and Finn, that think they know who they are, but everything changes when reports of 3 kidnapped children reach the Greystone kids, and they're shocked by the startling similarities between themselves and these complete strangers. The other kids share their same first and middle names, they're the same ages, and they even have identical birthdays. Who exactly are these strangers? Before they can question their mom about it, she takes off on a sudden work trip, but puzzling clues left behind lead to complex codes, hidden rooms, and a dangerous secret that will turn their world upside down. Okay, so let's get into it. Chapter 1, Finn. The 3 Greystone kids always raced each other home when they got off the school bus, and Finn always won. It wasn't because he was the fastest. Even he knew that his older brother and sister, Chess and Emma, let him win so he could make a grand entrance. Today he burst into the house calling out, "Mom, we're home! It's time to come and adore us!" Adore had been on his 2nd grade spelling list 2 weeks ago, and it had been a great discovery for him. So that was what it was called, the way he had felt his entire life. Emma, who was in 4th grade, dropped her backpack on the rug beside him and kicked off her red sneakers. They flipped up and landed on top of the backpack. Someday, Finn vowed, he would get Emma to teach him that trick. 23, Emma said. There was no telling what she might have been counting. Finn hoped it was a prediction of how many chocolate chips would be in every cookie Mom was probably baking for them right now, for their after-school snack. Finn sniffed. The house did not smell like cookies. Oh well, Mom worked from home designing websites, and sometimes she lost track of time. If today was more of a goldfish crackers and apple slices kind of day, that was okay with Finn. He liked those too. "Mom," he called again, "your afternoon break entertainment has arrived." "She's in the kitchen," Chess said, hanging his own backpack on the hook where it belonged. "Can't you hear?" That would mean Finn had to listen for once instead of talking, Emma said, rubbing Finn's head fondly and making his messy brown hair even messier. Finn knew she didn't mean it as an insult. He was pretty sure Emma liked talking as much as he did. Chess was the one everyone called the quiet Greystone. He was in 6th grade and had grown 4 inches in the past year. Now Finn had to tilt his head way back just to see his brother's face. He also kept his hand over his ear and pretended to be listening really, really hard. There was a low mumble coming from the kitchen. Maybe a man's voice? "Is Mom watching TV?" Chess asked. "She never does that during the day." The kids all knew their mother's routine. She never listened to anything but classical music while she worked, because she said songs with words were too distracting. And when she really didn't want to be disturbed, she worked in a windowless room in the basement. The computer down there didn't even connect to the internet. The 3 Greystone kids called that the boring room. Now Finn laughed at his older brother. "Are you going to stand around asking stupid questions when you could get your answer just by walking into the kitchen?" Finn asked. "Let's go eat." He dashed toward the kitchen, dodging both Emma's backpack and the family's cat, Rocket, lying in the middle of the floor. He yelled, "Mom, can I cut up apples? It's my turn, isn't it?" Mom was standing at the kitchen counter with her back to Finn, but she didn't turn around. She had both hands clenched onto the edge of the counter, as if she needed to hold on. Her cell phone lay face down on the floor by her feet. Her laptop sat on the counter in front of her, but it was tilted up, so Finn couldn't see what was on the screen. "Mom?" Finn tried again. She still didn't turn around. It was like she didn't even hear him, like she was in a soundproof bubble. This was not like Mom. She had never acted like this before. Then she began to moan. "No, no, 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 no." I'm going to continue to chapter 2 and 3 because they talk about each of the siblings. 2. Emma. Emma had a substitute teacher that day. The sub had dressed all in gray and had gray hair and a gray face and even a gray voice. Somehow, Emma decided, that was possible. And the sub made the entire day so dreary and dull that Emma had started looking for and counting weird things about the day just to keep herself awake. The thing was, if you started looking for weirdness, suddenly everything seemed that way. Wasn't it weird that the pattern of coats hanging up on the classroom hooks went blue, green, red twice in a row? Wasn't it weird that the sub could have a gray voice? Or was that just normal for her? By the time Emma got off the school bus and began racing toward the house, she'd counted 21 things she considered indisputably weird. To her way of thinking, that actually made the day pretty interesting, and she was excited to tell Mom about the new tricks she'd discovered for surviving school. Then she noticed that the porch light was still on, even though Mom usually turned it off when Emma and her brothers left for school. And then stepping into the house, Emma noticed that the living room curtains were still drawn tight across the windows, and so were the blinds on the bay window at the back of the house. This turned the living room's cheery yellow walls dim and shadowy. It made the whole house feel like a cave or a hideout. 23 weird things in one day. What if that was a normal amount, and Emma had just never noticed before? She'd have to count again some other day, or really, lots of other days, to know for sure. Finn and Chess started yammering on about Mom and the kitchen and TV. Emma joined in and then rubbed Finn's head, because it felt good to do something normal again. Mussing Finn's hair was like petting a dog. You had to do it. Finn had thick, unruly hair with odd cowlicks that sprang up no matter how much Mom smoothed them down. Finn being Finn, he claimed this meant his hair had superpowers. And now Finn was racing off to the kitchen, shouting about apples. Emma looked up at Chess, and they both shrugged and grinned and followed Finn. But when they got to the kitchen, Mom wasn't hugging Finn and reaching out to hug Emma and Chess too. Finn stood in the middle of the kitchen staring at Mom. Mom stood at the counter with her back to the kids, all her attention focused on her laptop. And the voice coming out of the laptop was saying, "The kidnapped children are in 2nd and 4th and 6th grade." 3. Chess. "Mom?" Chess said quietly. His mother's shoulders shook, and then, as if she was fighting for control, her whole body went still. Just like before, Chess thought. Of the 3 Greystone kids, only Chess remembered the awful day their father died. Chess had been 4, Emma 2, and Finn only a baby. But even Chess's memories of that day were more like puzzle pieces he kept in a box in his mind, rather than one continuous video. Chess remembered the 2 sad-faced police officers at the door. He remembered the red Matchbox car he'd been holding in his hand when the door opened. He remembered the way Mom's shoulders shook before her back went ramrod straight, and she turned around to face Chess and Emma and Finn. Now Mom was reaching for the top part of her laptop, as if she planned to shut it and hide whatever it said. Something made Chess stride quickly across the kitchen and grab her hand to stop her. "Someone was kidnapped," he said. He caught a glimpse of a few words at the bottom of the computer screen. 3 kids in Arizona. "Was it anyone you know?" "No," Mom whispered. Her dark eyes were wide and dazed. The color had drained from her face. Shock, Chess thought. The school nurse had come in and taught a first aid unit to the 6th graders earlier that year, and Chess was proud of himself for remembering the symptoms. It was just a shame he couldn't remember any treatment. Maybe he was feeling a little shocked himself. It was scary that anyone would kidnap anyone, but Arizona was 1,000 miles away, and it wasn't like there would be some crime ring going around kidnapping kids from any family who had a 2nd grader, a 4th grader, and a 6th grader. "Mom, maybe you should sit down," Emma said. Maybe that was one of the treatments for shock. Chess shot his sister a grateful look and took his mother's arm, ready to help ease her toward the kitchen table. Rocky, Emma, and Finn Gustano were last seen leaving their school, Los Perales Elementary in Mesa, the voice coming out of the laptop speaker said. Finn started cracking up. "Isn't that funny?" he cried. "2 of those kids have the same first names as me and Emma. That's the 3rd Finn I've ever known. Well, not that I actually know this one, but He slugged Chess in the arm. Don't you feel bad that you don't have the same name as some kid who's famous now? And I bet when they find these kids, they'll get all the ice cream they want and all the toys they want, and their parents probably won't make them do homework ever again. But what if nobody ever finds these kids? Chess thought. He wasn't about to say that to Finn. Yeah, I've never met another kid named Rochester. Chess forced himself to fake a smile at Finn. Or with the nickname Chess. Oh well. Maybe you should sue Mom for giving you such a different name, Finn suggested. Or maybe I should sue for getting such a boring, ordinary name, Emma countered. Did you know there are 3 other Emmas in 4th grade and 8 others in the rest of the school? But Chess tuned out his brother and sister because Mom lifted one hand and pointed toward the laptop screen. The way she held her hand was like a nightmare, like a Halloween ghost, like someone under a witch's spell in a fairy tale. It was like she could only point, not speak. We're repeating the information we have about the Gustano children, the voice coming from the laptop said. A photo of a friendly-looking dark-haired boy appeared on the screen. The oldest of the 3 kidnapped siblings, Rochester Charles Gustano, who goes by Rocky, just turned 12 last Tuesday. Chess's hearing blanked out temporarily. His middle name was Charles, too, and his 12th birthday had been last Tuesday. How could there be another Rochester Charles born the exact same day as him? And how could that other kid have been kidnapped? So that's Greystone Secrets, The Strangers. If you liked the beginning of this book, come on in and check it out. We have all 3 books in the series in the library, and they're also on our Overdrive app. We'll see you next time.